welcome back. With reaction to the news that the swine flu has spread here, let's turn live now to CP24's George Legajanis, who joins us live from Hospital Row. Hi, George.
Thanks, Pooja. We're in the heart of Hospital Row. Just an overwhelming amount of information has been coming through in the last few hours. Of course, the biggest news for us in the GTA is that 4 new cases have been confirmed, 3 in Durham Region, 1 in York. And I'm joined now by Dr. Allison McGeer of Mount Sinai. Doctor, would you still characterize this particular strain of swine flu, as you did yesterday, as garden variety?
Yes, so far still, as you saw in the cases that have been reported from Ontario, these are people who've been ill, they felt miserable, but they haven't needed to be in the hospital, and they're all recovering well. So this is still looking, all of the reports we're getting are still that this is still looking like a regular strain of influenza. Not that it's not going to be miserable dealing with it if it starts to spread here, but it's still just influenza.
Is it correct to say that those 4 people are not in hospital?
Those 4 people were not admitted to the hospital, okay? So they were seen as outpatients and diagnosed as outpatients, never been admitted.
Dr. Williams in the province, in their press conference about an hour ago, mentioned that there's about 20 other cases that are being investigated. Does that mean that they're in, as he said yesterday, isolation, not quarantine? And if they are, where are they?
My understanding is that all of these cases are people who have been seen and sent home. If they're admitted to hospital, they'll be in precautions. But of course, you need to understand that anybody who has an acute respiratory illness in the hospital, we use additional precautions for. So these patients are not necessarily being treated any differently. It doesn't matter what respiratory virus you have, there's a risk of it spreading. We don't want them to spread in hospitals, and so we routinely take these precautions for people admitted to hospitals. But again, the majority of these people are probably people who've been seen in an office or an emergency department and sent home.
Respond, identify, contain. That's been the dictum. That's what we've been hearing from all levels of government, all medical professionals we've been talking to. Are we poised to handle this in terms of whatever we're going to have to do in terms of a pandemic situation, if it comes to that? Are we prepared financially with manpower on the ground?
Remember, with influenza, we are not after containment. Cannot prevent the spread of influenza viruses. What the goal of our pandemic plan is, should this become a pandemic, and it's not there yet, should it become a pandemic, the goal of a pandemic plan is about mitigation. It's about ensuring that we can provide good care for people who are ill. It's about ensuring that people get the right kind of treatment. It's about ensuring that when we have a lot of people ill, which is what will happen if there's a pandemic, that we have minimal disruption, not just in hospitals and healthcare, but in every other industry and business and workplace and school in the country. So yeah, there's been a lot of planning at every level in Canada. Those plans are being taken out and brushed off, and people are making sure that we're ready to go if this happens. There's no doubt that all that planning will make things better. There's probably also no doubt that if it is the pandemic, there are still going to be challenges. There's still going to be lots of people ill. It's not going to be an easy time, but the planning that has been done will make it a lot better.
Dr. McGeer, thank you very much for your time. I know you're very busy. We appreciate it.
You're most welcome.
And again, for all information, and there's an overwhelming amount of it, as I said, your best bet, CP24.com. Back to you, Pooja.
All right, George, live.